So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can add Google review directly on your website. So if you have a local business and you want to pull in the reviews from your Google business account to your website, this is the video for you. So right here, this is the Google review and I'm pulling it from a business called Ellis Electrician. So I'm working on an electrician template. So I'm just pulling this one because of the demo of this video. And by the time you're watching this video, this won't be existing anymore. So to show you that this is real, if I come to the actual the business, so it's called Elix Electrician, and you can see the number of reviews they have, and you see it tallies with the number here as well. So the first review is from one Steven Goodrick, and it's 5 years, so this duration as well, and the actual review itself. So if I come here, you should see it. Yeah, so this is it. So it pulled everything from here. So it only pulled the first 5. So if I click, you'll see only the first 5. So the first thing to do is to head over to console.cloud.google.com. So make sure to create an account if you don't have one. Currently, I already have a project open. It's called project. But if you don't have one, it's going to prompt you to create one. It doesn't take that long. It's just to create a project. I'm not even seeing the option to create one. I would have. So let me just click on this. And yeah, so I have to right here, but you can just click on new project to create one. But I already have this one open. So once you've created yours, the next thing to do is to come to API and services. So click API and services. It's going to open for that particular project. So what you will do now is to click on credentials. All right, so I want to create an API key, and the essence of us creating an API key is to let Google know and give us permission to view or display this review. So I already have one created, but I'll just show you. I'm not going to create another one. I'm just going to show you. So you click on API key like so. Then you give it a name. Then also what you have to do, you can restrict the application. So I kept mine as none. You can select if it's a website. Then after selecting website, I think it's going to pop up and tell you to enter a specific website. For me, I'm just going to put it as none back. And after you do this, the next thing you need to do, I don't want to create this right now. You know what? Let me just create it. I'm going to delete it afterwards. So I'm going to give it a key called test1. So this can be any name, but it should be unique. So click on create. Then before creating, you need to select the API. So the API we're looking for is called place API bracket new. So in case if you search for this and you don't see this, it's perfectly fine. So you know what I will just do. I'm just going to cancel this out. Then you just need to head up to or click the library here and you just search for that particular library. So it's called place API new. So this one. So click on it. So it's going to pop up like so. Then you click on it again. All right, so I already have mine enabled. So in your case, it's going to tell you to enable it. So just enable your own, and once you enable it, it's going to bring up a billing form, and you need to fill that form, because if you don't fill the form, you would only be given some particular data. You won't be given the actual review. So you need to fill that form, and don't worry, you're not going to get charged except when you get too much request. And even if you get too much request, you can set like a cap of the amount you want to hit. So if you set yours to a max of $2, when you get to that $2 range, it's not going to go beyond that, which definitely means this API might likely just stop working. All right, so I'm just going to go back, just enable yours and just go through that process, and make sure you do the billing stuff, because without the billing stuff, you won't be able to see the review. You will only get just the name, this length, but you won't get the actual review. All right, so I will head over back now. So let me go back. All right, so after doing that, then you just come and follow the same process. Create this, select the API key, enter the name, and once you click on create, it's going to give you an API key. So after creating it, and make sure you select the places API for the restriction. So select places API, and after creating it, it's going to give you an API key. So you copy that API key and you head over to your project using Astro. and Astro is server side first. So just create a .env file and paste in that API key there. Alright, so after you've done that, what you then need to do is to come right here. So, and I'm going to leave this link in the description, but what we want to do is we want to get what we call the place ID, and the place ID is essentially just trying to get that particular business. It normally used to be in the URL. So what you just do is to search for place ID finder. So if you can't do that, just search for place ID finder on the search bar right here. And when you've done that, you just need to search for the name of your business. So as you can see, you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to use a different business. So let me use one that doesn't have a website. I think you can also use one that has a website. It doesn't really matter. But let's just, you know what, let me pick this one. This London Electricians. Alright, so this London Electricians 24/7, this is the name. I'll copy it. So far they have some reviews. So what I will do is I'll copy it and I'll come right here. Don't worry, I'm going to leave this particular link in the description. And I'll just come here and paste it right here. And this is it. I think it's Edgeworth Road. Same thing like this one. Yeah, so the same. So this is the place ID. So I'm just going to grab this entire thing. Yeah, I'm going to copy it. Then I'll go to my code and create a new variable called place ID. Then I'll just paste it here. Ignore this blue squiggly line. Let me just add that to my workspace. Then you just need to store the API key right here. And I'm using Astro. So like I said, Astro is server side first. So it's safe for me to do this. But if you're using React with Vite, it's not really safe because you need this your API key to be secret, because you don't want to do import or meta.env. And if you won't do this, it's not going to work, because since it's client based, you need to add the Vite or Vite keyword in front of it in order for that to work. So just be mindful of that. So after adding this to after adding place ID and the API key, so we need to just hit these endpoints. So this is the endpoint here. You can pause the video and just look at it. Then you just pass in the place ID, then accept an headers object where you pass in the API key, and this field marks is actually the different fields you want to render. So we need the ID, we need the display name, we need the rating, we need the user rating count, and we need the reviews. So these are the ones that are here. And if you want to like get the whole field, you can just like get rid of this entire thing and just use asterisks. So it's just going to give you the entire thing so that you can pick whatever feed you want to render. But it's not safe you leave it like this, because it's going to cost you a lot on production. So just pick a few ones you just want to render out. Then just await the data and then store it on the reviews variable, and just you get the gist now. So I'm just like storing different data on different variables, and I'm just reusing them. So if I save this now, and also let me just walk you through my code as well. I'm just passing the business name, and we're getting it from the display name.text, the total reviews as well. Then here I'm using the initials, getting initials from the name, and also like the URL, and also getting the image URL, which is photo URI. I'm just rendering it, and I just added some JavaScript below to have like to be able to navigate around each review. So if we go back now and go to our code here, you should see that we have London Electricians 247. And in case this doesn't work, you just like you have to just let me do a manual refresh, or sometimes you just need to like stop your server. This is if you're working locally though, but if you push the production, it should work fine. So I'll say pm dev back. All right, so if you're still having the same issue, what you just have to do, you just go to your image tag, then you just say referral, I think it's called referral policy, then you set it to no referral, because Google blocks referral policy. So I think it should work now. All right, so it's coming in now. You can see the images, so I can select and you can see each and every one of them. So just to check that they're matching, let's look for Delight Hodges or anyone that looks familiar there. So okay, we have an Mohammed. Okay, I think you saw this one. David something. Yeah, let's just search for one more. Okay, so to return mainstays property, and also the 5 reviews it gives you is at random. So is either the first 5, the last 5, just random reviews. So if you refresh the page, there's every chance that this will change. Or 9 out of 10 times, it just renders the common one that you actually see here. So that's what you see here. Alright, so if you've done that and you're not getting the review, what you just need to do is to go back to APIs and services. Then we need to go to console.log / I think it's billing, I guess. Alright, so if you head to this URL here and you don't see any billing account here, you just need to create one. Like I said earlier on, while enabling the place ID, it's going to prompt you to enter your payment details. But if you skip that step, just head over to this link right here, then you just have to create an account. So create an account and it's going to see prompt you to enter your payment details. And like I said, you just need to enter your payment details. As you can see, this is still $0 and you can set a cap to how much you want it to be. So I just create it. It's fairly straightforward. Then I think this is just basically it. What you just need to do after this is just to come to your projects after you've created your account. So come to your project, then you need to activate particular project. I have a lot right here, but as you can see, billing is disabled, and billing is only enabled here. So on your own case, just right click, then you just say change billing. So once you click on change billing, this is just going to be enabled by default. And once it's enabled, so it's basically going to show this right here, my billing account. Then if you head over to your UI and refresh, you should see this. And also take note of the API endpoint again. Alright guys, so that's the size of the video, and if you want a template like this for your business, you can head over to Web Creative /templates. I have like some templates right here for you to go through and see if it works for your business. There are a lot of templates coming. I know if you are subscribed to my channel, you might get tired of me saying this, but I promise you I'm working on a lot of templates, and when I'm going to be publishing them, they are going to come back to back. So if you've not gotten anyone, do well to get all these templates. They are really nice, and they have both great user interface and user experience, and also have good conversion rate as well. Alright guys, so do well to leave a like, share and subscribe if you found the video helpful, and I will see you next week.